Yeah, I was born in India and went to church every Sunday, but I didn't really know God until much later in my life.
And I grew up in a defense background. So my dad was, in the Indian Air Force. My mom was a professor in a college. But, thanks to dad's job, we kept getting transferred, every 2 or 3 years. And what's kind of rare is that in India, Christians are about 2 to 3% of the population. So, in that sense, we're rare, both of us having been, born in India.
If you compare it to Texas, India is about 4.6 times the size of Texas, but 46 times the population. We were just 2%.
In India, like many parts of South Asia, colorism is huge, right? So the lighter skin you are, the more beautiful, you're supposed to be, right? So I kind of grew up with a lot of body image issues, low self-esteem. And so though I was academically good at what I was doing, there was something missing, right? And it just wasn't enough.
When I was 20, my father passed away. And for me, that was the first big hit that I got in terms of life. And I had to kind of figure out, what I want to do in life very quickly. I had a chance to live and work in the US, in California for about a decade. Then I went to Europe and helped start a European business for a couple of years. I had a chance to live in about 7 different countries. And so I really got very comfortable with being uncomfortable in new places. It was just before we got married, or just after we got married, that I started asking these questions in terms of, okay, so, why am I even here? We were praying about it, and we decided that we just needed to simplify our lives and figure out what our priorities are. And as we prayed about it, this opportunity to perhaps just go back to India, raise our kids closer to our families, we just sold our house and upped and moved.
God just opened doors, without us even realizing there were doors over there. Mm-hmm. And so kind of got invited to do a TED Talk. Also ended up publishing a book. And just the way it happened, it had to be the hand of God. I mean, it just happened.
It had been about 10 years since we were in India. We realized God was kind of nudging us individually and saying, you know what, you're too comfortable here. Maybe I've got a different plan for you. It pointed us to come back to the US.
And, we landed in Austin without knowing anybody, right? I mean, not a single soul. So I know for me, it was really just feeling out of place, not really having, that your people, your circle of friends, your family to kind of fall back on. And, even just trying to figure out, is it okay to go knock on the neighbor's door and, say hi, right? I mean, I wasn't even sure if it was okay to do that or not. We kind of went to different churches, and God led us to Northpoint. And
we often ask ourselves, God, how do you want to use our successes and our pain points now that you've brought us to Austin? We felt we were called to do is create a place for people from different cultural backgrounds, from different diversity backgrounds, even people who are born up here but still are interested in multicultural experiences and feel like it's an environment where you can just be yourself. Our first thought was to go back to Northpoint and say, hey, you know what? We've enjoyed being part of your men's groups and women groups and couples groups. Would you be open to thinking about a group that is not on the list, but it's something that God is calling us to do, which is, this multicultural diversity group?
This is a safe space, right? It's a space that's non-judgmental, which means that you come just as you are, right? Irrespective of, your culture, your gender identity, your sexual orientation, or, wherever you might be, right, on your faith journey, right? In your search for, what's my purpose in life.